Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today's Monday, it's October 31st, so welcome to the end of the month. I am here having my cup of tea this morning. I have got lemon ginger, which is one of my favorites for a nice cold morning, and hope that you got a cup of tea or coffee, and let's settle down and I'll bring you up to speed on some of the news headlines. But I thought today was kind of a day to celebrate the day and the good things that are going on in our lives and things we can do to make our week get started with in a positive way. I've got a couple of really interesting stories. One that I think you're really going to love because it's all about you. And also I want to give you the name of the person who I'm going to give our beautiful contouring makeup brush to. And by the way, I'm doing an interview tomorrow with Ariane Poole, who is our makeup and beauty expert, and we're going to be doing a series of interviews tomorrow that we'll be releasing in a few weeks. And if you've got any questions for Ariane, any beauty questions or makeup questions, just leave them in the section below and I can grab them and include them in our conversation. She's a lot of fun. Ariane is amazing. She lives in the UK, but she's got a wonderful joy for life and has a lot of great ideas for women over 60. So stay tuned for that. Now, let me go through the news. In the world yesterday, there was another earthquake in Italy. Italy has been hit by 3 major earthquakes in the last few months. Do you remember there was one in August, 300 people died. There was another one last week, and then on Friday there was a huge earthquake, 6.6 magnitude. There have been no reports of any deaths, but some injuries, 20 injuries, and of course lots of towns have been devastated. One very sad is, I think it was called Norcia, lost its basilica, which is 600 years old. This little church just completely collapsed. Nobody was hurt, but it's just one of these things that when those places go, something of the history of the place goes. So I feel very bad for the Italian people in that central area. They're sleeping in their cars on the streets so that they're not going back into their buildings for fear of more aftershocks. They're saying that there might be a new fault that's being actually developed along that line in Italy, so that's why they're having so many earthquakes. But let's just send out our best wishes to all the women and men in Italy and hope that they do okay, thinking about them. In Australia, interesting story yesterday from Australia. They've had a lot of challenge, like a lot of countries in the world, with migrant refugees trying to approach their country by boat. And of course, they have a very big sea line, so people can be pulling up in boats everywhere, and they're really concerned about this. So the Prime Minister wants to implement a law that says anyone who tries to enter Australia by boat illegally will never be able to apply for proper residence in the country. So it's a bill that hasn't been passed yet, but it's been proposed. It kind of shows the tone, though, of the concern by the Australian Prime Minister. In Iceland, there was, as you know, an election in Iceland over the weekend, and there was the center party has been in power for some time, but they were challenged because it was like one of these spur of the moment votes to really give them permission to continue because of a big tax scandal. And so the people voted on the weekend, and when I reported yesterday, the Pirate Party was in number 3 position, and that was okay, but not so great. But they actually rebounded over the weekend, and they're now in second place. So the central government got back into power again, got validated to continue in power, but they've lost a lot of seats in the parliament. And now, of course, it's still a 3-way coalition, but the left-wing EU party that's supporting entry into the EU and this Pirate Party are actually in a much stronger position. And the general feeling is that's going to make a lot of change in Iceland, one of those places in huge transition. So that's Iceland. This is a quick story from the United States, and I'm not going to talk about the election because you all know what's going on there. People that are in the United States, it's chaotic and dramatic. But in another part of the United States, there was an interesting story about a world record that was broken for the fastest car, or the fastest speed driven in a car. Now, I didn't know this, but the fastest car, the very beginning of this kind of world record, was in France in 1980. 1899, and this is when a electric car sped around the outskirts of Paris at 60 miles an hour, and that was the fastest a car had ever gone. Now on the Bonneville Salt Flats in Utah, this amazing place where it's like totally flat, and 18 miles of just totally flat land. They had a car that was trying to beat the world record. Now the world record was around 300 miles an hour. It's pretty fast. The horsepower of this new car, though, is like 3,000 horsepower, which is 10 times the amount of an average car. And they were hoping it could beat the record. And it did. This is the Venturi VBB3. And this beat, the world record by 40 miles, 340 miles an hour it traveled. And it's now, set this new world record. But the kind of cool thing is that it was renewable energy. It was an electric car, and it shows really that electric cars are of a category that can beat the world record in speed, at least. So that's interesting news from Utah. A beautiful state, by the way. If we have any women who live in Utah that are sisters in 60andMe here, let us know where you are and what it's like living in that amazing state. I traveled there many years ago on a tour of the Southwest, and the geography there is otherworldly. It's just beautiful. Anyway, on to other things now. This is a chance to get caught up on you and a few things that you might want to think about for the rest of your week, and what's perhaps an opportunity to do two things. Now, first one I want to talk about is how to give back to the world without opening your wallet. And people say, I really can't afford to do anything to support the people in need. But there's some things you can do. So here's some ideas, and we'll leave the link so you can read in more detail. But here we go. First thing that you can do, and by the way, organizations seem to always be looking for money, but they would appreciate some other generous acts as well. So keep this in mind. If you want to help, you want to give back, but don't quite have enough to write the check for the $1 million that is always appreciated too. Anyway, first thing is to share your talents. So if you knit, if you're a whiz at knitting or sewing, or you've got some special talent, there are plenty of places that you can give from your talent. Lots of hospitals and places would welcome kids' blankets, and of course with all the refugee challenges, extra blankets and quilts you can make are appreciated. Number 2, support companies that give back. Now, I was on Amazon the other day, and I noticed that Amazon.com has something now called Amazon Smile. And this is where you can give anything that you purchase on Amazon, you can give a small percentage to companies that are supporting them. So, for example, the American Red Cross. And you just sign up, say, I want a small percentage of what I'm shopping. Amazon pays this money, by the way. Amazon gives the percentage to the company or the charity that you choose. It's kind of a cool idea. And there are lots of companies too now that are doing this, so look for those that support your causes. Another thing to do is to take the lead. Do something that no one else is doing. Organize a bake sale. You've got lots of women friends and guys that can cook, and just get together a bake sale in your neighborhood church or community center, and give the proceeds to a charity that you love. Another thing is to donate your stuff. I try to do this on a regular basis. It's a constant lifestyle change model to every week find something that I can share. And there are plenty of places that you can go to do that. And also a lot of them will pick it up for you. So they'll actually come if it's a big item, some furniture piece or a heavy item, they'll come and collect it. So that's another way to give back. You can also donate blood and save lives. These drives go on all the time, so you don't want to wait for there to be an emergency when everyone's blood is needed. But go ahead and just donate blood, and check out the hospitals, and see American Red Cross also organizes blood banks, so you can help there. Another thing is to think beyond the dollar. And if you don't want to give money, you can give a card. If you want to give to a homeless charity, for example, but you don't want to give cash, you can give a donation from a restaurant or a gift card. It's a good idea. And of course, you can always take cupcakes and cakes to the local police station or fire station. They always appreciate it. And, they're kind of the unsung heroes sometimes. So let them know that you love them. That's a nice idea too. So these are all kinds of cool things. Another final one was when your birthday comes along, instead of telling your friends to buy you a present, which you might want, or flowers, tell them for your birthday, support a local charity. So those are some ideas of how you can give back to the world. It makes you feel good too. It's one of those things that it makes the person that's receiving feel good, and it makes you feel good too. So that's an idea. But then let's be selfish. Here's some ideas for pampering yourself. You need to be pampered too. And I don't suppose anyone's going to hand you $1,000 gift, so you might as well just step up and do something for yourself that makes you feel great. And we have a great blogger. Her name is Molly LeGrand. And Molly wrote an article for us, which I thought was some really fun ideas for just how to pamper yourself. Now, this is for you. You deserve it. As you start this week, this is a time to, of course we think of other people all the time, and we want to give back and we want to help. But we also need to think of ourselves and, treat ourselves occasionally too. So, simple things, don't cost any money. You can do these free of charge. So the first thing is to read. Reading is such a great pastime. You can take yourself down memory lane with a book from the past or a book of poetry. You can read something that actually they've shown helps you to relax. It's one of these things that soothes your nerves, and it slows your blood, your breathing, and it's just good for you. And you can just have fun with reading too. And then of course a lot of women in 60andMe read, so you compare your stories and what you're reading at the moment. Another thing is to pour yourself a cup of tea. Tea for me, I don't know what it is about tea. I think it's probably because I was a child and I drank tea in my bottle, I think, when I was being weaned. But I just have a passion for tea, and there's all kinds of teas that you can experiment with. You can make your own. You can kind of mix and match things, and things like chamomile and even lemon balm, lemon ginger. They're all really nice for calming you down. And, there's been various tests about tea that they're really good for your immune system. They actually do, there's an argument that they can help with longevity, long life. So cups of tea are a nice way to relax and treat yourself. And maybe read while you're drinking a cup of tea. Do both. The next thing is to listen to music. I saw a DVD or a video the other day about a man with Alzheimer's who could not really engage with the world until they played him music from his past. And it was amazing how this nostalgia for music calmed him, brought back his ability to remember, and is quite a dramatic demonstration. But, it slows your blood pressure down. It decreases your stress hormones. And so it's really, really a good idea to listen to music. And it depends really on your taste as to what turns you on. Meditation. Meditation for me is one of my daily activities. I meditate 10-15 minutes even when I'm on the road or traveling. And of course there's hundreds of reports and research stories now about the value of meditation. So I would highly recommend that as an option for pampering yourself. And just remember at the end of the day that things that you love to do are going to settle you down and going to calm you. And just give yourself the time every day to do them. Don't overbook yourself. Just do something fun for yourself today. It's the beginning of a new week, and so enjoy it. Right, so and one final note before we close today. Those are things you can do for others and do for yourself. And today, as you probably know if you're in the States or a country that celebrates, it's Halloween. Halloween. Now, personally, I've never really understood the mystery of Halloween. When I was a little girl, I remember, I think, we didn't have a lot of money, so I remember, I think I went as either a ghost, where we just literally took a sheet and put it over my head, or I was a witch, and that involved, lots of hats and funny things, spiders and things. But, that was when I was a child, but still, Halloween's a big deal in lots of places in the world. And so according to the report I was reading, the costumes this year are moving away from princess costumes, which have been super popular the last few years, and they're now going to superheroes. So even the kids are picking up characters from, the games they play, from Minecraft, from Pokemon, all these games, and those are the characters that they're dressing up as. In terms of adults, because a lot of adults love Halloween too, and they like to, just put on animal costumes, or I guess witches are still fun, and but still this year, two of the most popular, won't be surprised, are Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. So the political influence is there in Halloween this year, and I don't know which one you think is most scary, but that's your choice. Apparently, creepy clown masks are still lurking about, but people have been warned not to wear creepy clown masks because there's been a lot of violence around people chasing people with clown masks before Halloween. So it's kind of advised not to do the creepy clown look. But the popular ones are pirates and witches and some of the characters from movies like Willy Wonka because of Gene Wilder's death, vampires, lots of the classics are popular too this year. So, now I know if you live in Texas, you've probably got lawn art out there all over your lawns showing Happy Halloween. I lived in Texas for a while and it was big deal. But if you're celebrating Halloween and maybe going out with your grandkids, what are you wearing? What's your costume? What's your alter ego? So that's the Halloween story. And also, by the way, today is Caramel Apple Day, which in my mind kind of goes with Halloween. I don't know why, but caramel apples are super popular, and today is the day you celebrate them. You can do what I would love to do, is to take an apple, cover it up with sticky, beautiful, salty caramel, and put a bit of salt on the top. That's my idea of a great caramel apple. But what's yours? Maybe you've got a favorite too. So that's our day of the week, caramel apple day. All right, so I'm going to close now, first of all, with the name of the person who won our beautiful, I've lost it here, our contouring brush. Her name is, oh my gosh, I've lost her name. Just a second. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't write it on my notes. It's Vanessa Strobel. Hi, Vanessa. I didn't mean to forget your name there. I usually normally write it down on my little notes, but I didn't today, but I've got it here, and it's Vanessa Strobel. So Vanessa, just I'm going to leave you a note to send me your address so I can mail it to you, and good luck with it. And then stay tuned for the interviews with Ariane on how to use that contouring brush, and good luck with it. It's a lot of fun. Right, so I'm going to close today with two things. First of all, a quote. I found a quote that I really love today, and just if you're feeling a little bit like you're struggling with things these days, this one should help you, which is a quote from Nelson Mandala. And he said, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." I think that's a really, really good way of looking at life's adventures that sometimes don't feel very positive. So never feel that you lose. You either win or you learn. So that's our 60andMe show today. I'd love to ask you a question, which really goes back to the pampering article, and ask you, what do you do to relax and pamper yourself? Just leave the comments in the section below and we'll start a conversation. Maybe we'll get some ideas from each other. But basically, what do you do to pamper yourself? Love to join the conversation with you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you all back here tomorrow on Mornings with 60andMe. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.